All right, so John, let's go ahead and dive right in, brother. Listen, in California specifically, right, it's been a testing ground for a lot of different finance programs, right? But I'm gonna go ahead and just simplify them for you as easy as I can. There's gonna be three ways essentially to go solar. Okay, so option number one is gonna be a lease option. Number two is gonna be a PPA. Then option number three is gonna be an ownership. Okay, and straight off the bat, I'm just gonna tell you honestly, I would not recommend the lease option. The reason for that is because if you were to pick a lease, you would actually get a lien on the property, and it'd be difficult for you to transfer. Right, so that's honestly a headache you wouldn't want to deal with, in my perspective. But I mean, hey, the option's there, right? Now, before I dive into the PPA and the ownership, is your main objective just saving money, or are you adamant to owning your own system? Yeah, right. You want to save money up front right away. Gotcha. Yeah, no, I completely understand. That's why I got you, man. Let me go ahead and explain to you how these work, okay? So the PPA is really simple. It's straight off the bat 40, between 30 to 40% off your bill, straight off the bat, okay? It's price protected, which is amazing, right? So you're gonna know exactly how much your bill is gonna be every month and not see it go up and down just like you have been seeing for the past couple of years, right? Essentially, it's gonna be transfer 100% transferable, meaning it's not gonna have no lien attached to it. Just like on the lease, it does have a lien, but on the PPA, it does not have a lien, right? So if you do decide to sell your home, say like in 5 years, typically on average, a homeowner stays anywhere from 4 to 5 years, within their home. Now, if that's your case and you want to go ahead and sell it, you can. Obviously, the only thing you would be getting the fair market value for that. And the great thing about this is that it's no money out of pocket to do this program, right? And it's $0 for the installation, meaning no money out of pocket to put the panels on your roof. Now, how great would that be, right? It's amazing, right? So let me just go ahead and dive right in as far as the what goes for the interest rate for the PPA. Just to let you know a little backstory on Edison. Historically, they have raised their rates about 6% annually every year now. Statistically, it's there. You can look it up yourself. So what happens is that with the PPA, we're actually giving you a 3.5% annual increase, right? Which is compared to a 6% is not. It's a big difference, right? I'd rather go with 3.5 versus the 6%, right? It just doesn't make sense on why you would keep picking, Edison at that point, right? Now, ownership is going to be a loan, right? So you're going to have to finance it. And typically, a lot of homeowners don't want to just get a service to just finance and get a loan from. Now, the thing about it, the ownership is that you would get a 30% tax credit on that, right? So you can actually claim that tax credit within the first year, or spread it out within 5 years. That's really up to you. You would actually have to just to kind of explain how that tax credit works. So if you don't put that tax credit back into your system, right after the first 18 months, after the 18 months, your bill is going to go up, right? So you would definitely have to put that money back into your system to keep that at the low payment. If you don't, it's actually just going to increase, okay? And then I'll explain to you how that works a little later on the amount. It is going to be zero down as well, so you don't have to pay nothing out of pocket, but it is going to be 2.99, between 2.99 or 4.99 interest spread out through 25 years, okay? So let me ask you something, John. When you moved into the property, brother, did Edison charge you anything to start service? All right. I mean, they obviously didn't, right? It's not like they tell you, hey, John, you got to pay us $1,000 to start, right? No, I mean, it's just not gonna happen. So we're the same way, man. That we run the same business model as them. We don't charge you anything up front to go ahead and get this process started. Another thing I wanted to ask you is how many outages have you experienced, John, in the last 12 months? Not quite a lot, maybe one or two. Okay, I mean that's completely fine. That actually just tells me that you wouldn't need a battery. But I mean, in cases like this, I just need to explain to you how it works, right? If you were to need a battery just in case and want to go out completely off grid, we actually give you guys a battery that you can actually store extra energy right throughout the day. Um, and if you store that energy throughout the day, we can go ahead and have you produce that energy back into your home at the end of the night, or we have a backup battery, meaning if you guys have an outage, right, we're gonna go ahead and be able to get the energy back from that battery, right? I apologize. I'm being loud here. 1 second. I'm gonna move places. I do apologize. I just they were being loud. Going back to the battery. Yes, the battery function. There's two options to the battery. One of the batteries that we offer is a backup battery that you can essentially use when there's an outage, or there is another battery where you can essentially just store excess power when you are producing a lot more energy than you're supposed to. It would just store it in the battery, and when you would need extra backup battery, you would just pull it from the battery. Okay. So that's actually one of the things we offer as well. If you were to go with a battery, the only thing with the backup battery, you would just increase it by 10%. Your bill would be increased by just by 10%, only because it would have the battery on there. And then yeah, that's actually pretty good. I mean, just in cases, right? I mean, if you want to be protected and be off the grid and have that peace of mind, it always comes in handy, right? So now you're probably thinking, John, this is great, Gustavo, but how do I avoid being double billed? I do understand your concern, and believe me, I get this question all the time. But we do give you a 90% production guarantee, right? Like I was mentioning to you earlier with the PPA. So just like Edison, brother, when they have an outage, right, and they have to send their W-2 employees, they have to have them go out there and service the grid lines, right? The same exact model that they have is the same way that we take care of our customers and homeowners, and make sure that we take care of the equipment, right? So meaning we're gonna go out there and maintain. We're gonna service, maintain, monitor, and warrant and insure the panels for 25 years, right? So you're gonna be insured and have that protection and that warranty for 25 years, right? So if you might be asking, where does that remaining 10% go, right? So the remaining 10% of that is is an agreement that if we I apologize. Let's see. Sorry. So going back, I apologize. My batteries over here dying. So going back to that, so the remaining 10% that we were talking about, yeah. So in our agreement, it states that if the system were to underproduce, we're gonna have to write you a check or reimburse you, right? So I don't think, I mean, you think we're gonna go ahead and underestimate or overestimate production? Right, exactly. We don't want to let you down and be underproducing, right? We're gonna go ahead and make sure that we produce what we're actually promising you, right? And then let me ask you this: who's incentivized to ensure this production? Us, right? I mean, because we're providing the power. We basically sell you the power at a cheaper rate than the utility company, right? So we do offer the warranty, like I mentioned to you earlier, right? Because we don't want to lose your business to Edison, right? So just to give you a quick update, just to tie you in with what's going on around your neighborhood, if you take a look at our software here, there's within 25 miles of your home, you can see clearly how many customers we have, right? And it's about 30,000 houses, which is obviously amazing, right? And if we can give you this production guarantee in writing, we're really as big as PG&E or even bigger, right? I mean, that just gives you a peace of mind knowing that, hey, within a 25-mile radius, you do have a lot more homes that have gone solar, so you can definitely trust the whole process, right? So it's honestly a win-win for the homeowner at the end of the day. I mean, you're finally going to be able to take control of your power, take control of your money, right? And not have to pay those ridiculous interest rates every year, like we've been paying the monopoly all the time, right? Essentially, because all they're going to keep doing is just take, right? So we're pretty much at the end of the slide here. Just two questions that I have for you. I mean, is there any reason the product doesn't make sense to you? No, right? So is there any reason the savings would not make sense to you? Great. So I mean, it looks like we're all on board, and I'm glad that you were able to understand exactly what how these products work, and was essentially what's going to be the best fit for you. And I think the PPA at the end of the day is going to be the best offer for you. And then after here, we're going to go ahead and just actually show them what the proposal looks like and the design and everything, and what the proposal would look like with the battery or without the battery. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. This is going to be breaking down uh, the products. All right. I apologize for all the breakage, man. It's just kids and everything. It's I don't have a little office right now somewhere I could go to, right? Like right now I'm in the garage, so